Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Premier Inn hotel in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. Fun fact, I am hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know if, where and when you found me. The first person to get it right will have their comment pinned. In this tutorial, not only will I show you how to make the entire outside of the build, but I will also show you how to make the entire inside as well. On the ground level of the hotel, we have a lobby area, a dining room / bar area, a kitchen. To take us up to the other floors, we have elevators and staircases. On every single one of the other floors of the hotel, we have a supply room. We have a series of hallways which could take us anywhere that we need to go, including any of the other floors, or to our rooms. There are 4 on every floor. The rooms are really simple. We essentially have a bedroom and a bathroom. And that's it. Did you manage to find me? Let me know. This is the amount of space required to make the build, a 34 block wide by 44 block long area as represented by this very handy grid on the screen. To find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of the grid and count inwards diagonally and find the 3rd block. That is where we will start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 10 grey concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Count backwards by 1. Then place a polished blackstone wall to the right. Then 2 black stained glass pane to the right, 1, 2, another wall, 2 glass pane, wall, glass pane, leave a gap, place a wall, 2 black glass, wall, 2 glass pane, wall, 2 glass pane, and then a wall. We now start extending backwards by placing 2 glass pane, wall, 2 glass pane, wall, grey concrete. We then want to extend the grey concrete to the right by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Extend 1 row forwards. And then to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then, extending across the back of the build, we place a grey concrete. Dig 2 rows in the ground and replace those with oak planks. And next to these, we place 17 grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We should line up with that single block over there. We then extend backwards by 1, and then we simply extend to the right, line up with the front of the build, and then rejoin with the front of the build. So just like this. Next, we are going to work on the main entrance. To begin, we will extend all of the wall and glass blocks, each up by 2. Then, I'm also just going to raise up the grey concrete either side of the ends of these windows a little bit. And the reason being is because we are now going to place a row of 8 grey concrete on top of this corner block here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we are going to extend this all the way over to the left and down here just like this. And we'll also do the same here as well. So we just want to extend it back and we will just join it down to here. Next, we will add an additional row of grey concrete underneath this top row. We will then make some windows by placing a grey concrete here in this corner, and then placing 2 black stained glass to the right, then a grey concrete, 2 glass, grey concrete, 2 glass, grey concrete, 2 glass, grey concrete, so on and so forth, just extending all the way over to this opposite side. Then, we will extend each one of the glasses and grey concrete down an additional row. Then, we will fill this gap in using grey concrete, so all of this empty space in between the windows at the bottom and the top. Then, we will grab our polished blackstone slabs and create 3 polished blackstone blocks, 1, 2, 3, here, which we will then extend the upper block across all the way over to the right. We will create a similar row of 1, 2, 3 polished blackstone blocks here on the right side of the hotel, and then we will extend the top forwards to meet that previous row, and then we can just fill this small gap that we have left in using the polished blackstone slabs. So we will have something that should look like this. Now we can turn our attention to the back of the build. So first of all, we are going to add a double oak door here and stick some black stained glass on top of the doors. To the right of this, we will place grey concrete, and then we will place a set of windows. So this is 2 black stained glass pane, grey concrete, 2 glass pane, grey concrete, 2 glass pane, grey concrete, so on and so forth, just extending all the way across to the right. The natural finishing position is right here. And I think it's a bit easier to add a little bit of grey concrete across the top of the door frame, extend across to the right like this, fill these gaps in with grey concrete to make the window frames, and then we can fill this empty space in using black stained glass pane. And then from here we're just going to add a bit of framing around all of this by placing 1, 2, 3 polished blackstone slabs, or rather 3 polished blackstone using slabs, and then we can extend the upper block to the right using these slabs to create just a little bit of a frame across the top of the windows, and we actually just want to stop 1 row short of that little bit of wall. And from here things get rather simple. So what we can do is extend up this grey concrete here, and we kind of want to match the height of that grey concrete at the front of the build. We kind of want to make all of the bits of wall in between everything that we have made the same height. So we are just extending all of these shapes up and joining them together like this just to make them into nice big solid empty areas. And the reason that we are doing this is to prepare them for filling in. Because once we have kind of just nailed these shapes down, this is going to be pretty much the area for the entire lower part of the hotel. There we go. So as you can see, we now have some pretty large areas of empty wall. And guess what we're going to do with them? If your guess was to completely fill them all in with grey concrete, then you guessed right, because that's exactly what we're going to do. Just kidding. On the back of the build, we actually want another set of windows. To do this, we will place a row of grey concrete underneath this upper row, right here. And then we essentially want to copy the windows, kind of, that we have on the front of the build. We will place a grey concrete here in this corner, and then 2 black stained glass pane, grey concrete, 2 glass pane, grey concrete, so on and so forth, extending all the way across to the left. Just like this. Then we can extend all of the glass, that isn't glass, we can extend all of the glass and grey concrete 1 row down, and then we can continue our journey of filling all of the rest of the walls in using grey concrete. Just making sure you're paying attention. I also completely forgot about that set of windows. Which is quite impressive because they're literally right in front of my eyes as I'm making this tutorial. I might need glasses. Next, let's add some green stuff to the base of the hotel. So, to start with, I'm going to place an azalea right here. Leave a gap, azalea, gap, azalea. Come to the opposite side of the door and place one here, gap here, gap here, gap here, gap here. Move around. And then we will place one here, gap here, gap here, gap here. Just like this. We will place a bit of oak leaves here, just like so. I'm starting to think that maybe we'll even extend this out a little bit. So I think that this would look nice if we did just add an additional row of polished blackstone wall. I think that that looks a little bit better. It seems, yeah, I like that. That's perfect. So from here, we are just going to move around to the back of the build. And we will start placing some azaleas again. So we'll place one here, for instance, and then we'll just leave a gap in between them, and we will extend all the way across to the right, just like this. And now that we have some green stuff, we are going to add a little bit of a pathway around the hotel. So we will have... So out this back door, we will have a row of 3 smooth slabs. That's just to keep the plants nice and centered. But we will extend this path all the way out of this side of the hotel, and we'll just remove whatever grass and grid we have. We'll remove the grass and grid on the front of the hotel as well. All of this is going to be smooth stone. The only part where this isn't the case, what we don't want to remove is, of course, in between the azaleas, and we just want a nice little walkway here into the actual hotel. But other than that, we can just remove all of this. There we go, that's good. So from here, let's just fill all of this in with smooth stone, and that will help us to frame everything. Next, we can work on the car park area. So, to start with, we are going to remove 3 entire rows of grass/grid from across the back of the build. Don't worry if you accidentally remove a little bit more, like I just did. Don't get me wrong, I'm furious that that happened, but we have to remove it anyway at some point in time. And we are going to fill all of this in with cyan terracotta. Then, we are going to we will remove just one additional entire row, but this one's a little bit more difficult. So, what we'll do is we will place a row of 5 starting from either side. Start on the right just for fun. So, we want to place a row of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 smooth stone, like this, and then 3 cyan terracotta, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to move over to the opposite side and do the same. We'll place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 smooth stone, 3 cyan terracotta, 1, 2, 3, and then just smooth stone in between. And let's just take a look at that. That's perfect. And then we can remove an entire other row from in front of it. And then we can make that exact same row again. Just like so. Then we can add 2 rows of oak leaves along the remaining outer part of the grid. And that just boxes this area in for us. And from here, we can remove all but this back row. On this back row, we'll place a set of large ferns. Just whilst we're here. And then let's just remove all of this remaining grass. Then we will place a row of smooth stone here along the inside of this leaf here and the inside of these leaves. And then we want to extend. This is a little bit trickier to do, but we want to find the 4 middle rows in this long row here. So I do believe that this is the very middle. And then we can extend a row either side. And we should just have a row of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 either side. And we do. And we can just extend all of these smooth stone all the way to the back where we have these ferns. We then want to split these areas up using white concrete. So we can add 1 row here. And 1 row here. And 1 row here. And 1 row here. And let's just take a look. So we're basically just making car parking spaces. And at this point, we can just fill all of these gaps in using cyan terracotta. This applies to both sides, of course. And this is optional. Sometimes I like doing this, sometimes I don't. I do usually do it, just add some yellow carpet to the car parking spaces. Just because it seems to help signify they're here, and I just love the yellow with the white and the grey. I don't know, I just do. I just think it looks so much nicer. But we have to make some lampposts as well. So one's going to go here. It's 1, 2, 3, polished blackstone wall, beacon, and then I guess we have to hop up on something. And then we can stick a black carpet on top. And we'll have the same over here as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or rather 1, 2, 3, and then the beacon on top. And then we just have to hop a carpet up on top of here. And if you want to, you can add them like here and here as well, but that seems a bit excessive to me, so I'm not going to do that. And that is the car park done, which means that we can head all the way back to the very front of the building, and we can apply a bit of branding. So to do that, we'll start here and place 1, 2, 3, 4 purple concrete, which we will extend over to the right, stop underneath this window, extend down, and then we can fill all of this in using purple concrete. Now, we are going to make the banner part first, which means we've got to throw down a limb, open it up, purple banners in there with white dye, and we are simply just going to write out Premier Inn in letters. The first letter is P, so this is the pale sinister pattern. Put purple dye in there and apply the Perfess inverted pattern. Put white dye in there, apply Fess, Chief, and then Pale Dexter. That is P. We are lacking space a bit, but the next letter is R. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, and Bend. Next is E. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, Fess, and Base. Next is M. This is the inverted chevron pattern. Put purple dye in there. Chief indented. Put white dye back in. Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister. Next is I. This is simply the pale pattern. Next would be E, but we already have it. And then R, but we already have it. And then I, but we already have it. So instead, N, which is Pale Dexter, Bend, and then Pale Sinister. And these are the only letters we need to write out Premier Inn. So we'll start here and place P, R, E, M, I, E, R. Gap, I, N, N. Then we'll place a yellow concrete here and here. Then we can place a smooth quartz stair here, upside down one next to it, smooth quartz block on top, stair here, upside down stair here, and that is the Premier Inn branding. If you want, I'm not certain about this, we can add like a button also kind of around this, but I don't know whether it's a bit too much, to be honest. I think maybe just one tasteful button here, but I think I actually might prefer it with just the yellow concrete. I think that looks best. With the entire outside of the hotel complete, we can now head inside and work on the interior. The first thing we will add is the lobby. To do this, we will begin all the way over here and place a smooth quartz block. Next to it, magenta terracotta, then a light grey concrete, magenta terracotta, light grey concrete, magenta terracotta, smooth quartz block. We will then extend backwards by one row, then place a black stained glass to the right, leave a gap, black stained glass pane, then a black stained glass, black concrete, extend forwards, and then extend both of these blocks to the right like this. We will then extend this black concrete this way by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We will then leave a gap of 2, so 1, 2, and then we will place 3 black concrete extending to this wall. We will then add a row of black concrete along the inside of the grey concrete here, and then add a layer of 1, 2, 3 smooth quartz block on top of the black concrete, which we actually want to extend all the way along the entire row of black concrete that we placed. we can also extend up these smooth quartz blocks here, and we can join them across the top, and we can extend the magenta and the light grey concrete. We can just place a light grey concrete at the top here, and then we can just back this wall. So I'm actually not certain that it makes a difference, but just in case it does, we'll place black concrete along the base of the wall, and then smooth quartz block here, just like this. And then on the inside, a couple of paintings here, and then rails, just like this. And this is like a self-check-in area. We also want to connect these smooth quartz blocks here, just across the top. And we can extend the glass up as well. And then that leads us to this area here. So, we're actually going to start over this direction. So, over here, we'll place 2 quartz pillar, 1 row away from the wall. Then 2x2 square of smooth quartz block here. Then we will fill this in with various paintings. Black carpet on the top. Leave a gap of 1, and then place purple concrete extending right until we are just 1 row away here from this doorway. Extend the purple concrete 3 rows up, which just takes us to the top of this wall, like so. Then we will place upside down 1, 2 smooth quartz stair extending from this position in the purple concrete, and we will extend over to the right. And we'll just leave a gap of 1 here at the end, but we want to flare the stair like this. We also want to replace underneath these blocks with black concrete. Then we are going to place pillar quartz here and here. So they're just kind of like offset either side from this counter. Then over here in this corner, we'll place a purple glazed terracotta and then oak leaves on top. We will then place a polished black stone button here, stone stair here, polished tough wall here, light grey carpet here, stone stair here, 1x1 painting here. Next, we are going to place a stone stair here in this position, and we will flip an oak trapdoor up in front of it. Then 2 trapdoors this way. Then place another one flipped up. Another trapdoor this way. 2 this way. Trapdoor this way. Brewing stand here. Flower pot here. Stone pressure plate here. Barrier here. Painting here. And then stair here. Maybe even one here as well, if you want. I think that looks pretty good. So next, we have to make some banners. We want to write the words check in and place them along that purple concrete. But we can actually steal a couple. We can take E, I, and N from outside. And then all we have to do is crack open a limb, place a purple banner in there with some white dye. We have to make the letter C. So that's Pale Dexter, Chief, and Base. We have to make H, which is Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, and Fess. We don't need E, we've got it. We don't need C, we've got it. So we need to make K, which is Pale Dexter, Bend, and Ben Sinister. Honestly, I don't know why, but this looks like it could possibly be a word in another language. I'm tempted to Google it, but I'm not going to, just in case. And here, in this corner, we will place C. H, E, C, K, space, I, N, and simply check in. Next, we will place a flower pot here, fern inside, and then polished black stone stair here, polished black stone pressure plate here, lantern here. Then we are going to remove a portion of the floor here so that we can install a rug. And I've actually got a few different colour choices. So the surrounding floor is oak planks, which means we could go for a red wall, blue terracotta, or possibly a light blue terracotta. Since all of these colours kind of sort of complement each other a little bit, they're all in the same sort of like spectrum-ish of colours, the purpley, bluey, pinky sort of colours. So that's like blue terracotta. And I was about to test out some other colours, but it probably makes more sense to install the rest of the floor, and then we can take a look. And I know what you're thinking, why didn't we do the floor before we placed all of this stuff? And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't consider that. This is a mistake that we will avoid with the next set of rooms. So there we go. So now I'm just going to place oak planks. It's possible that we don't even want to add... Oh, that's something actually. So underneath the windows, we want to place black concrete. So underneath here and here. And then we can just continue on placing our oak planks. I might just work around from the edges first so that I don't miss anything. So I'm imagining walking in and being greeted by this rug, and I hate it. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't like blue terracotta either because it's too dark, so I'm thinking that we just go for red carpet directly on top of this, and it's just the nice bright pop of colour that I like as I walk into a room, but do feel free to change it. Next we are going to head into the dining room / bar area. And the first thing we will do is place a row of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grey concrete extending left of this wall. And then a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 smooth quartz block extending up. On this opposing wall, we actually have to place a row of black concrete and then some smooth quartz block extending up the wall like this. So just to equal the height of the rest of the walls. And in this corner, we'll place a row of grey concrete. And then 1, 2, 3 black concrete along the bottom. Grey next to it. Then 2 red concrete to the left. Grey next to it, running up the wall. 2 by 2 square of red concrete here. And then brewing stand here, flower pot here, lever here, polished blackstone button here. Series of item frames here. Then we can fill these item frames in with individual potions just to look like different drinks and concoctions. And we'll stick a set of trapdoors above this, and we will have some candles here on the trapdoors and another set of trapdoors above. Then on this counter we will have polished blackstone stairs, polished blackstone pressure plate. Then somewhere along this bar we'll just have like a flower pot with a fern in it. Maybe we'll just split these two areas up a little bit. And then along this wall we are going to add some seating and a faux wall in as well. So we'll place 1, 2, 3 spruce stair extending out of the wall. Then 2 rows of spruce fence in front of it. And white carpet on top of the fence. Spruce stair on the opposite side, purple terracotta behind these stairs, and we will extend the sides of the purple terracotta up, split the middle, flower pots inside of the empty space with ferns in the flower pots, and then we will place smooth quartz block here against the terracotta, and we will extend the smooth quartz block either side. Then on the opposite side of this, we will have another table that is equal in size. So I'll place all of the spruce first, and then the carpets afterwards, just like this. And then from here, we actually have to add a wall as well. So we'll leave a gap of 1 behind this stair. And then we'll add a row of 3 black concrete like this, polished tuff wall, gap, wall, then black concrete extending to this wall, and then smooth quartz block on top of the black concrete extending up. And across the top here, it's going to be a bit different. So actually, that we can have smooth quartz across the top, but underneath it will be smooth quartz stair, and then polished tuff like this to create kind of like a door frame. Next, we will add some more tables. So here in this position, we will place 1, 2 spruce stair with a 2x2 square of fence in front, stairs on the opposite side, leave a gap, stair, 2x2 square of fence in front, stairs on the opposite side, and then we will place white carpet on top of the fence. And now we're just going to add a bunch of pictures. So we'll add 1 painting here, and 1 here. Not that one. Not that one. No. Very persistent. That was insane. That must have been like 8 times in a row. But that one will do. And then we want the same on this wall as well. Oh my... This is crazy. We're getting so many duplicates. And then we will have just a 1x1 here. And we'll have another... Whoops. We'll have another 1x2 here. That is insane. Almost the same picture. That would have been just that insane odds. Next, we are going to remove all of the floor, which I am now just realizing I said that we would do this before we put anything in here. I forgot again, but it's not too big of a deal. Technically speaking, it's less floor for us to remove, as we do have blocks covering up some of the grass, so it's, you know, silver linings and all of them. Okay, so in this room, we are maybe just here as well underneath this door. In this room, we will just floor the entire room with oak planks. And just in front of the bar, going to highlight it with some black carpet, just like this. And I don't know whether to add doors to here. It makes sense that there would be doors, right? Just a good old generic double door. We could even sign it later, but this is looking pretty nice, very nice and clean. Which leads us into the kitchen area. So the first thing we actually want to do in the kitchen is make the walls. The walls actually start right here. We place a row of black concrete like this, with smooth quartz block on top, extending all the way up. And we also want to place black concrete along the inside of these walls. So do we need these 2? We need one of the rows at the very least. So maybe we'll just smooth this out completely. I think that looks better, doesn't it? And then we'll just place block of quartz on top. So we could have a slightly larger kitchen if we are willing to sacrifice just the rectangular shape that we've created. But I don't think we really need to do it. I think that this is sufficient. And now that we've created the walls, we can remove the floor. And we can just fill all of this in with polished andesite. So, first of all, in this corner, we will place 1, 2 light grey concrete, followed by 2 blast furnace, polished black stone pressure plates on top, leave a gap of 1 and place stone stairs above. 2 light grey concrete like this, stone button here, cauldron here, lever here, And then we will place a light grey concrete, detector rail here. Then we'll stick a stone slab in this corner, which we will then extend to the right by 1, 2, 3, 4. Then next to this, we will place a 2x3 stack of chisel bookshelves. Light grey concrete here. Extend to the right here. 2 furnaces here. Stone stair here. Light grey concrete here. 2 rows of cyan terracotta, this high. Iron bar here. 2 light grey concrete here. Iron trapdoor here. Blast furnace here. And then we're going to run a row of light grey concrete across the top here. And here. And in this wall, for some reason, we're going to have a couple of purple terracotta. And not only that, we'll leave a gap of 2 here. And then we will place a 2x3 rectangle right here. So next, we will place a melon here, pumpkin here, then item frames here, here, and here. We'll fill this one in with an apple, carrot here, cake here, then brewing stand here, flower pot here, stack some sea pickles here. That's perfect. With the kitchen complete, this leads us all the way back through into the lobby. And this time we are going to head this way. So to start off with, we will place a purple glazed terracotta in this corner with a couple of oak leaves on top. To the left of this, we want didn't have the block on me, a painting. Not that size. A 2x2 painting on the wall, preferably something you might see in a hotel. That one is good. We then want to leave a gap of 1 from this, and then place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 grey concrete extending up. And then we extend this way, 1, 2, 3, and then down. And then this way, 1, 2, 3, and then down, just like this. And we'll fill these doors in with light grey concrete, and then stone buttons here and here. And then next to this, we'll place some black concrete. We'll extend just out of the wall here. We'll leave a gap of 1, 2, 3 black concrete, and then we will extend the smooth quartz block on top of the black concrete and just across the top. And instead of filling this little bit in here with what we usually would, which is just quartz block, we're just going to add some black stained glass pane underneath the top. And now we are going to install some stairs. So we will place a smooth quartz stair here, here, and here. So 3 against this wall. And we'll just place some smooth quartz block like this. And then we want to have another set of 3 stairs. So at the top of the 3rd stair here, we want a smooth quartz block, and we want to extend this way and have 1, 2, 3 stairs like this. So we will summit here, which means that just down below, we are going to exchange these smooth quartz blocks here for black concrete. And we actually want to... So this is the room that we want to create, right? So if we have a look at it like this, we have a gap either side of this doorway, and then a row of black concrete that extends back and underneath these stairs, and we want to box this in with smooth quartz block, just like so. So it doesn't have to go this high. And on this wall, we want a... we want a 2x2 painting. That one is actually just fine. And then from here, we are just going to remove all of the grass block inside of these rooms. Where have the leaves gone? Do I have magical disappearing leaves? Well, anyway, I'm going to replace... I'd love to know what happened there, that's crazy. We are going to fill all of this in with oak planks. And just in front of the elevators here, I'm thinking that we have a nice little rug. And that's it. So right here in this position. And then we can actually add a roof on top of this, because this is, so if we take a look at it like this is actually kind of a cool view. This is the entire base of the hotel. Next, let's make the ceiling. The ceiling is made using grey concrete and sits directly on top of the walls that we placed earlier. So some of the walls are a little larger than others, but basically directly above the self-check-in machines is where the ceiling line lies. As mentioned, I'm using grey concrete for this, but I did toy around with the idea of using smooth quartz as well, so I'd recommend one of those, whichever's your favourite. Directly on top of our layer of grey concrete, we then want to add a layer of magenta terracotta. The grey concrete is the ceiling for the ground level of the hotel, and the magenta terracotta is the floor for the next level. Some might even call it the first floor. With the ceiling and the floor complete, we can now work on the actual structure of the first floor of our hotel, starting all the way over here by the stairs. To begin, we will place a row of 5 purple terracotta left of this grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with 3 rows of smooth quartz block on top. Then a row of grey concrete to the left of this wall, which we then want to extend this direction by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will stack this all the way up to reach the same height. We will then leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then place 2 rows of grey concrete extending up like this. Connect the grey concrete above. Place glass pane like this. Stick an oak sign on this wall here, so this is where we are going to mark out the floor number, as there will be multiples, so this is floor number 1. On this wall right here, and as a matter of fact, I think that we actually have to shrink this wall. We want to add just another layer of grey concrete just along the inside of it like so. And then we can add some pictures to it too, so I'm thinking here and here, so 1 by 1, 1 by 1, just like this. That's perfect. And we also have to smooth out this wall as well. So we have to add some grey concrete along the inside of here. So the dimensions for this room, for those curious, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 by 7. In this corner, we will place a blue concrete, brewing stand on top, blue concrete on top of that, extend right, and then down. We then will place a lever here and a couple of stone buttons here. Next, we have to excavate these stairs, for a lack of a better term. So let's just remove these blocks. We're looking for the minimum amount of blocks so that we can get up and down, and I think that that will do nicely, as we actually have to make room for another set of stairs. So this shouldn't obstruct us. No, that's perfect. So the next set of stairs leading up to the next floor, if you will have one, will be here, and they will extend up like this. So it will be a set of 4 with a smooth quartz block above. So you can see it's pretty identical to the previous row, and that's how we install the stairs for the next floor and the next floor and the next floor. Well, anyway, this leads us into this hallway. So in this hallway, we want to place a grey concrete here, 2 light grey concrete here, 1, 2, grey, 2 light grey, 1, 2, and then another grey. And then we can actually extend this grey right and forwards, and then we can place 2 oak doors like so. We can then place 1, 2, 3, 4 grey concrete, and then extending back on ourselves this way, we will place a purple terracotta, leave a gap of 2, and then just another row of purple terracotta extending across. So on top of the purple terracotta blocks, we can stack rows of smooth quartz. And in this case in particular, we can connect the smooth quartz together across the top and then add a bit of glass underneath. And then in these cases here, we can raise up the grey concrete and we can extend across the top of these doors, and we can extend here and here, join the concrete together at the top. We can fill these little gaps in here using the light grey. We can add some polished andesite slabs across the top. We can then add a stone button here, and maybe here as well. And then stuffed into this corner, red concrete, 2 bookshelves, red concrete along the side, 2 stone buttons here, flower pot here, and we want just a little 1x1 painting just here as well. So that's perfect. Next, we are going to enter this giant room. I guess we didn't really need the doors, did we? But in this room, we are first of all just going to connect the base of this wall together with a row of purple terracotta, and then we are going to stack up some smooth quartz block, just like this. We also have to add a bit of grey concrete here, and then we're actually going to reduce the size of this room. So this is a supply closet, and I want all of the walls to be grey concrete, so that means applying a layer of grey concrete here, and I also want one here as well. The reason for this is so that we have a nice even room, like so. So I want it to be the same shape, and I want it to be kind of tight in here, to be honest. In this room, we want to just add a bunch of storage units. So in this corner here, we want to place a row of 1, 2, 3 spruce trapdoors stacked on top of each other, and then extend this block to the right by 2, and this block to the right by 2, and then stack up some trapdoors just to the right. We then want to place a scaffolding immediately to the right where we can, and then next to this, we want to place another row of 3 spruce trapdoors stacked up, and then we'll extend these 2 and these 2. And on this opposite side, we will place another row of spruce trapdoors. So this is what we're looking for. And not only that, we want the exact same thing on this opposite side. So I'll start on the side here, but we're just copying what we've already done. It really is easier just to knock out the wall. And then the scaffolding in between. So you may have noticed there's a little bit more space here than there is at the front. So we're just adding another layer of grey concrete here just to make this completely even. And we actually also have to add some more shelves as well. So right in the middle of this space, we want to make it's the same repetition of shelves basically. So the same 2 by whatever you'd even call this. You guys know what we're building. The same sort of shelf that we've made a bunch of times already. So we'll make one here. Yeah, what we'll do actually is we'll leave a gap of 2 from this first one. And then we'll make another set of these shelves. And after we have made another set just in the middle of the room, we'll leave just a gap of 1, and it will look like it's spaced nice and evenly, even though it technically isn't, but still. There we go, and just like a nice messy supply room. And on all of these shelves, we're just going to stack stuff that we might find in the rooms or need in the room. So candles here, for instance, towels here in the form of white carpets, lanterns here right in the middle. Then we can have item frames here with paper, aka toilet paper. We can have brewing stands here in the form of coffee machines, flower pots here, maybe even a TV here. So, okay, There we go, that's a bit more reasonable. And then all of these shelves are pretty much filled. If you want to stick random things on here as well, you can, but I think that that looks pretty good. With the supply closet complete, we can now head all the way into this area and work on the hallway. So to begin, we will place a row of 7 purple terracotta extending from just right of this door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, followed by an oak door, and then 3 more terracotta, 1, 2, 3, and then another oak door, and then a row of purple terracotta extending to this wall. We then want to stack rows of smooth quartz block on top of the terracotta extending across the top of the doors. We'll make these rows as high as the rest of our walls. Then we want to do the exact same thing on this side here. So just left of this block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oak door, 1, 2, 3. Oak door, and then purple terracotta extending to this wall, and then rows of smooth quartz block stacked on top of our terracotta just straight across the top of the doors like this. Perfect. We also have to divide the hallway up a little bit more by placing a purple terracotta here and here, smooth quartz block extending up, join across the top, and then black stain glass pane just like this. There is also a window at the end of this hall. It's just a 2x2 window, nothing fancy. We have purple carpet in front of each one of the doors, just like this. And we also want to apply an oak sign above each door, indicating a door number. As a matter of fact, it might even make more sense to have like 4A, meaning that this is like the first floor. So we could have like 1A, 2A, 3A, etc. It's just a small detail, it doesn't really matter that much, but I think that we've done like 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't really matter how you space this out, it could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't really matter, but what does matter is that we have to add some paintings to the walls here. So I'm looking for a 1x2 painting next to each one of the doors, just leaving a small gap. We're actually getting some different ones. I think that we have a different painting for each door. That's wonderful, that never happens. So that's perfect. This is how the hallway should look. And from here, we also have to divide up the rooms. So this is actually quite simple, as where we have this split in the hallway is how we also divide up the rooms as well. So we can continue extending our purple terracotta to both sides of our build with the smooth quartz block on top. And this will actually line up with the windows as well. So this is how everything divides up. So now we want to make each one of these 4 rooms the exact same size. So step 1, we actually have to add a layer of grey concrete along the inside of this area. So this will smooth out the wall in this room. So that's step 1. Another thing we have to do is add an additional layer of wall along the inside of both of these rooms. So this is along the inside of this room, closest to the stairs, and along the inside of this room, right next to the supply closet. So that's step 1, but there is one final thing. Now, it's very subtle, but the rooms on the back half of the hotel are 1 block bigger than these ones. And the way that we fix it is by adding an additional layer of grey concrete along the inside of these walls. And that will make every single one of these rooms pretty much identical, at least in the term of space. So now that we have 4 empty rooms that are all the exact same size, we can fill them in. I'm going to start here and rotate around clockwise. I'm also just going to build all 4 of these rooms at the exact same time, just so that we don't have to keep swapping through materials constantly. So, step 1. Inside each room, we will leave a gap of 1 from the door and place 1, 2 purple terracotta, followed by an oak door, another purple terracotta, and then we will extend to this wall. We will then place smooth quartz block, extending up and around just like this to form the bathroom. And inside of the bathroom, we want to have a bath. So this is simply just 2 rows of smooth quartz stair extending around, connecting together. Then we want to add a lever here, and we want to add a sink here, so that's a cauldron, tripwire hook. We want a toilet here, that's an upside down smooth quartz stair, and a spruce trapdoor here. Then we have a few more things to do. We have to make a banner, so throw down a loom, open it up, light blue banner in there with some white dye, and apply a gradient pattern, followed by a bend pattern. Put black dye in there and apply the bore pattern. This is a reusable banner. This is basically just a mirror. It goes right here. We want to place a couple of rows of glass pane just extending across to form a screen for the bath. And then we can add a bath mat. So purple carpet works, but so does grey. I kind of like grey. Black might work as well, but these kind of tie in all of the colours together. And this is the bathroom. So we are actually going to go ahead and make that exact same bathroom 3 more times. So like I said, moving around clockwise, we can hop into this room, leave a gap of 1 from the door, 1, 2, purple terracotta, oak door, purple terracotta, extend to this wall, and then build up the walls themselves using smooth quartz. And I'm actually just going to make the other bathroom walls as well. So let's hop into this room and we'll do the same. So 1, 2, purple terracotta, oak door, purple terracotta, extend to this wall and then build up the smooth quartz block. Then hopping into the final room here, gap of 1 from the door, 1, 2, oak door, 1, extend to the wall, add the smooth quartz. And that gives us all of the bathrooms. And only because I said that I was doing this in a clockwise fashion, I will head all the way back over to here. And in this room, we will add a bath at the end of the room, like this. Then on the side with more space, lever here, 2 rows of glass pane here, cauldron here, tripwire hook here, upside down smooth quartz stair, spruce trapdoor here, and then a grey carpet just like this. And then we can head into this bathroom where we will do the same. And we always place all of the stuff along the wall that has more space. So just in case you were wondering. And then all the way to here. Perfect. So now that should be each one of the 4 bathrooms complete. We are now going to head back into room number 1 and work on part 2. So there is just a bunch of stuff along the long wall as we walk into the rooms. And first of all, we just leave a gap of 1 from this wall, place 2 dark oak planks with 1, 2, 3 dark oak trapdoors flipped up either side. 1, 2, 3. We add a shelf here, white carpet here, item frame here. We then want to leave a gap like this, and we place dark oak trapdoor flipped up here, 2 dark oak slabs, flipped up dark oak trapdoor on the opposite side. In front of the slab closest to the window, we place a dark oak stair with dark oak signs either side, brewing stand here, flower pot here. And this is all we are going to do for now in each one of the rooms. So unit, desk, coffee machine, pot with various things on the units. Feel free to swap them out, but that is the first room. We are now going to head into this room and do the same. So we always start, it's pretty much just opposite of the bathroom. So we literally just start right here. We add our 3 flipped up trapdoors, 2 planks, flipped up trapdoors on the opposite side. We outfit this with whatever it is you want to put on here. Again, towels, and this item frame could be anything. We then leave the minimum gap so that we can then place the dark oak trapdoor, 2 slabs, flipped up trapdoor here. I always add the stair on the side closest to the window because it just gives a little bit more space. So stair with signs either side of it, and then just a brewing stand and flower pot. And now we can just head into this room and do the exact same thing. And then finally this room. And that, now that we have completed part 2 for each one of the rooms, we have a bunch of identical furniture in each of them, we can move on to part 3. So returning to room number 1, we will add a TV to the wall right here. So this is above the brewing stand on the desk, and I specifically want this painting. It is labelled the Sunset Dents for those curious. Then on this opposite wall, 2x2 square of grey concrete with black carpet on top, 3 rows of purple wool in front, white carpet on top of the first row, dark oak plank here on this side closest to the bathroom, dark oak sign here, glow item frame here and here, polished black stone button here. And we can just do this in every single room now. So that's room number 1. Head over to here. TV, 2x2 square, black carpet, purple wool, white carpet, black stone button this side, glow item frames either side, dark oak plank here, and then dark oak sign here. And it's as easy as that. So let's head all the way over to here as well. And finally, one last detail to add to each one of the rooms, which I would recommend, is just adding curtains to the windows. So this is simply just 2 grey banners, 1 either side of the center window, or I suppose 2 either side of the center window, but you guys get what I'm talking about. And that's it. That's all you've got to do. Those are the rooms complete. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make an entire floor of the hotel. We are now left with 2 different options. Option 1. We can choose to add another floor. The way that we do this is by coming to the front right hand corner of the hotel and extending this grey concrete up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then extend our grey concrete all the way around the shape of the hotel. So we simply just match the entire shape of the hotel as we extend around. I always recommend extending down to the corners so that we don't get lost with this. So we want to end up with a shape that should look like this. And then from here, we have to add in the windows, which is rather simple. So on the front, we place another row of grey concrete here, just across the top. And then we copy the window size, shape, and location from down below. So we want to have a set of 2 by 2 squares, spaced evenly apart, and if we just take a look, that's perfect. And once you have the front windows, we can move around to the side. So on the side, we will just add another row of grey concrete like this, and then we will install this hallway window. So once again, you can just copy the location from the previous row like this, and then we can just fill this entire side of the hotel in using grey concrete. Next, we can move on to the back of the hotel, where we will do pretty much the exact same thing. We will add an extra row of grey concrete back here, and then we will just copy the window size, shape, location from the previous floor. And then, once we've done that, we can fill the entire back of the build in using grey concrete. Just like this, which then leads us around to this side of the build, where we can just completely fill not only this side of the build in with grey concrete, but I also noticed that we have that little bit on the front to fill in as well. Now that we have made the actual walls for the next floor, the next step is to head inside of the build and to seal up the top of this floor using smooth quartz block. So we are not placing the smooth quartz on top of the walls, we are literally filling the top of the walls in, if that makes sense. Now that I think about it, that sentence doesn't particularly make sense, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm getting at as I'm doing it. I should also point out that you can use grey concrete as well, if you like, instead of the smooth quartz. The rooms will just be a little bit dark. That's the only thing, because the rooms are a lot smaller than they are on the ground level, so that's why we could kind of get away with grey concrete for the base, but I just think a lighter colour ceiling is better for the other floors, but that's just a personal choice. And now that we have placed our layer of smooth quartz block, we can now place an entire layer of magenta terracotta. So now that we have made the walls and the floor, all we have to do is fill the entire floor in the exact same way as we did the previous floor. My recommendation is to return back to this point in the video. I have left a timestamp on the screen and in the description of this video. if you go back to that, it will return you all the way back to the point where we first started making the previous floor, all the way over here in this corner of the build. Alternatively, simply use World Edit or Axiom to copy and paste as many floors as you would like. I personally think about 6 looks nice, but you could honestly go higher or lower. Now, once you are finally happy with the amount of floors your Premier Inn hotel has, my personal number is 6, then all we have to do is once again just seal up the very top of the hotel. First of all, using a layer of smooth quartz, or whatever your preferred sealing material of choice is. Maybe you did in fact go for the grey concrete in the end, or maybe something crazy like gold or diamonds. And once you have added all of the smooth quartz, we can simply seal the very top of the hotel with grey concrete. With that final detail added, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our Premier Inn hotel into our city. As this is a modern building, it belongs in the new modern suburbs. And I think it will go nicely over here in this corner. We have been expanding this part recently. There we go, fits right in. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Litematica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.